Welcome in. This is going to be kind of a casual stream today because we're revisiting one of my all-time favorite games of Black Myth Wukong. So I admit I am not brave enough to start a new journey. I have almost completed Journey 2. I'm at the Stone Monkey. What I thought we'd do today is kind of venture through some of my favorite areas to get reacclimated to the game by fighting some lesser enemies, and then probably go through and fight a few, maybe the challenge modes. I've been debating on if I should go after the corresponding boss for the area that I'm in, or if we can just do them arbitrarily. Because what I'd love to do is do some of the more consecutive challenges that they added later on. I've not had a chance to go through those. But without further ado, let's go ahead and resume our previous operations and get back into the game. I admit I am kind of pleased. I'm not sure if you can see it very well or not on your screens, but I did manage, moments before the stream started, to get the Wukong headband put onto my VTuber. In my first playthrough, I actually made it where I broke the cycle with him, so he is now a completely free monkey, unbound by Guan Yin's enchantment, but where I am a ghost, I figured I have too many obsessions or something causing me to linger, so I think it's befitting that I still wear one, as have not yet broke the cycle myself. But where we pick up last is where I left this character at Purple Mountain. This is one of my favorite areas. I'm going to actually start the stream off here, just because I really, really like this area so much. It's perpetually fall or autumn, and the vistas are just gorgeous. Plus, this will give me an opportunity to remember the controls, as I just went through Elden Ring, and then Small Lands briefly. This will be a reacclimation session for sure. So, that's sprint. That's to activate my standard attack. And I did have Pillar Stance enabled. I actually played through mostly with Pillar Stance, only begrudgingly switching to... I can't remember what the stance is called. It's not Thrust. It's the other one. It's not just called Staff Stance, because that'd be silly. It's under Self-Advance. Smash Stance. That's what it was. So I did level it up. It was particularly useful for the later boss of the Rhino, because it seemed like every time I would try to strike him using Pillar, it would miss ever so slightly. Okay, so that's still my run. And I will say that I didn't 100% this game, so there's not much I can do hereafter other than just kind of explore and enjoy. I think that killed him. And poor tree lost all his leaves. Oh, who's shooting? There we go. I think there was a one shot. Ouch. How did you manage from there? kind of crawl towards you. There we go. I don't know how it's coming across on stream, but these colors are just absolutely so well done. It's a beautiful game. I keep pressing triangle to jump when it's X. I need to remember that, and this is dodge. Whoops. Thankfully, no fall damage. And press and hold to charge. Almost. I'm trying to remember what the bumpers were for. I know this one is the rapid spin. Oh, that's my flask. Okay, so I need to remember. Left one is the flask. Alright, I'm starting to remember. And it's only been a few months since I last played, so I really shouldn't complain as much. But where I took the entire month of almost December into January off from playing games, I am very rusty when it comes to controls. It's amazing how much that time can really dampen it. Let's go back to the very beginning, because I think, just in terms of ambiance and design, Chapter 1 is actually my favorite. They did, a phenomenal job setting up the world using that level, or those levels. And then the bonus chapter, where we just were in Purple Mountain, is by far the prettiest, I think. And then, so it'd be the Forest of Wolves, the Purple Mountain, and then I like the snowfields, but where I am susceptible to bright lights, the glaringness of the snow really highlights how well snow blindness can happen. And I admit it's a personal fault of it's just too bright of an area for me, but I'd say it's probably my third favorite. Me. Oops. Terribly sorry, that was probably very loud. I bumped my mic. Because I took a drink and made the fatal mistake of not having the perceptual awareness of where that was. Although, going through my favorite areas, I also like the Spider Hollow. The architecture that they have there is gorgeous. I wouldn't mind living there either, just because it has that nice kind of gloom, perpetual night. The problem I have with it is the bugs. I do not like the centipedes. I would have to raise that area and clean it in order to survive there. Just because, no thank you to the creepy crawlies. That said, though, I'm trying to recall, 'cause this is where the bull guard was. Oh no, this isn't quite the bull guard. How did I miss you? Almost a one-shot, but not quite. So there should be... This is where I jumped down. So this is the very beginning. Again, I'm kind of cheating because I've gone through this to the final boss. But just to revisit the areas and have a nice little stroll, I think will make for good content. And it's kind of selfish for me as well of... On my No Commentary YouTube channel, I have a lot of this recorded, but it was more of I recorded the boss fights, not so much just the general exploration. So it'll have my voiceover with it on the VOD channel, but it'll still be nice to have. Because again, this is, I think, my game of the year for many, many years to come. Just because it is so, I don't want to say flawless, but it is, in the truest sense, a masterpiece. From the set design, to the story, to the overall atmosphere, character designs. There's not I have to complain with other than maybe 2 boss fights, but that's out of at least 120 different bosses. So on the balance, it favors in WuKong. If I really wanted to be honest, the one critique I could give it is that the subtitles are a little bit lacking, in that if you are in the sands or the snow areas, the white text is a little bit hard to read. I wish they had given it a bolder black outline or enhanced it in some way to make it stand apart, but other than that, that's the only complaint that I can muster for this. Because everything else is just splendid, splendid. I adore it. And they even did keep some of the original attributes of it, of where in most cinema, WuKong is treated as a comedic character. And to be fair, in the novel he was as well. He was definitely spunky and opinionated. So the moments of brevity were certainly needed, given some of the themes, but I like in this one that they took it very seriously, and it's portrayed in the epic sense of you are on the hero's journey as you're going through to recover all the relics, and what that truly means. So forgive me, but a lot of this session will be me just gushing about how wonderful this game is. Because I don't even have it set to the highest graphics settings, and it's still gorgeous. And the other thing with it too is where it didn't go for the truly hyperrealism style, or hyperrealism, like photogenic look. It still has a bit of stylization to it. I guarantee, or at least I severely hope, that it'll age very well. And another kudo to it too is they built in replayability. You're encouraged to go through at least 4 to 5 times, because each iteration allows you to unlock another tier of the relics, as well as further enhance your skills and abilities, to the point of, in the 5th playthrough, you can unlock what's called WuKong mode, and that allows you a different move set when you're using your stances. So the fact that they even had the foresight with that is really, really nice. Plus, just I love the little bunnies. It's so adorable that they included... You can't interact with them, but it's nice that they've populated the world. Excuse me. And alright, this is a very minor little thing. But one thing I wish they did as a kind of flavor enhancement, they did it well with the rest of the game for spoken dialogue. If you have it set to Chinese language as I do, the subtitles are still in English. So I can kind of get the gist of what most of the characters are saying in their original tongue. Except for the banter of the enemies in the overworld. Those aren't subtitled, so I admit I do miss out on some of the insults. I have watched subsequent playthroughs in English, and I now know what they've said, or at least have some idea of it, because I'm sure the translations aren't one for one. Even still, that would have been a nice little value added if they had little bitty subtitles above their heads as they spoke. That'd be an accessibility thing. But again, where I'm complaining about subtitles, that tells you how much of the game is without complaint. Because I'm having to nitpick. Oh, I must have got hit by one of the frogs. I wondered what happened to my health. And I should have changed my gourd at the shrine, because I'm also going to try to go through the challenge modes with the gourd that replenishes itself over time. I think that's a better strategy than use the one that I currently have, as this one does have a finite set of charges. And the fact that they included this is really, really special. When you go through your first time, you actually obtain a spark, which you use to level up, but you can also just come here and meditate thereafter. And this is such a flex to show you how beautiful the environments are. Each tree meticulously sculpted. I'm sure they have repeats, but if you look just at a glance, even off into the distance, it's very much a painting. Such delicious eye candy. And not to mention the soundscape, too. And the dynamic lighting, it just, oh. I can't get enough of this one. So if I recall, I'll switch my gourd here. This will take me just a few moments because I'll need to do some comparisons. So this is what I currently have. 4 Banes. And it recovers gourd uses. I might be able to take that one off if I'm already going to use the gourd anyway. And likewise, that one may not be needed either. Let's see what my options are. And that one has 2. I don't remember if this one actually was fruitful enough in the mana recovery for some of the later spells. Let's stick with the long bomb. But I think I will change these out. Damage reduction is probably good. Well, like critical health, that might be an option. Okay, so I do have the iron pellet already. So that removes all banes. To take a sip without consuming gourd juice. Even with the one, that should be fine. So maybe only this one I'll change. Recovers a small amount of health. I thought there was another that did that as well. It's for poison. Brief moment after using the gourd. I was trying to determine the difference between these two. I'll try the orchid for now. And then I think it's under my equipment that I need to do the other piece. Because I was using the supreme gourd. But this one slowly recovers gourd uses. Because that has the most charges. But if I can delay each time and give it time to recover, I may not need that quantity. And I don't think I'll mess with my equipment for now. I may have to tinker with it more once we get into the challenges, but for now let's at least just go through the wolf forest. Let's see if they approach. And where I've already defeated the longs of the area, we won't hear the chanting. For what deed was it done? And I don't think the crow respawns. But that ginseng might. Let's go deal with the archer. He will be problematic. Well, maybe not problematic, just annoying. Well, I forgot I had Ring of Fire on rather than Immobilize, so whoops. But that gives me those focus points, so I pity the poor enemy next. I may have to put Immobilize back on. We'll see. One control I do remember learning far too late was in order to use your summon. In this case, I have the Wandering White on because I unlocked him in my first playthrough and just decided that this was good enough. You can actually press one of the bumpers followed by the other. Oh, I broke those pillars too. So rather than having to press it simultaneously, you can press one then the other. It is forgiving in that sense. Because I was having the hardest time in my first playthrough, thinking that why can't I get this timing down, or why is this input lagging and not working? Well, there's an easier way to do it, and I was trying to do it the hard way. I think this is the way forward. Because we missed the little arena with, oh, what's his name? Red Tide, but that's not his name. It's the tiger. Oh, now I'm gonna have to look it up. He wouldn't be under lesser. I think he's a chief. There he is. Because that's Guangmo and Guangji. Chi? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that one. And forgive me, I will butcher the names. I am tone deaf, and both in Mandarin and Cantonese, there is a tonal quality to it, so I am terribly sorry in advance. I'll do my best, though. There we are. And this is the new temple. Let's go ahead and see what the challenge mode has to offer. I'm starting to feel a little bit more warmed up. Less tolerant, more sturdy. Let's go ahead and start them as they were. And apologies, once we get into the challenge mode, there'll be quite a few loading screens. Oh goodness. That's not quite fair. I didn't realize the needle was going to do so much damage. Ugh, I might have to up that difficulty. Because that was unfair at... Although, that's very much like it was in the first time that I fought him, or excuse me, the second time that I fought him on New Game Plus. So in that sense, it captured it. Let's see if the white fares the same. I worry they might. I might have to up the difficulty. Excuse me. Well, he ended up hurting himself. Oh, this foreland. This may be all that it needs. Yeah, and the difficulty needs to be scaled up. Let's try that again. Oh, I forgot to change it. Oops. I'm gonna try it without the needle, just to see how much the hits actually do damage for. Because I think only maybe Red Boy would I leave at Pilgrim difficulty at this point. We'll see how they scale. See what this one does. Oh, goodness. So, fully charged is still very overpowered. Welcome in, Resurrect. How are you doing today? Oh, no worries. Hopefully it's fun stuff to do. Happy to have you keep me on in the background if you'd like. But even if you just popped in to say hi, I'm very happy to see you. Hopefully your Saturday's treating you well. Always delighted to have you. We had such a nice conversation while playing Small Lands the other day. Alright, let's see how different these... I'll start on Pilgrim, and then I may up the difficulty for them all, because that one shot is pretty ridiculous. I'm just starting to go through the challenge modes to see how things are going and what to expect from them. It's alright. See, probably your only hit that you'll get. Oh, the sad thing is you can't turn on your stream audio and do stuff. I'm awfully overpowered. This is the second playthrough for this character, and I'm trying to gauge what challenge modes are appropriate for it. And you can always have the VOD on later on. In the meantime, no obligation, but you can mute the tab that it's on. Or if it would interfere too much, I completely understand closing it may be the best option. And yes, this character is severely overpowered. I have 2 versions of the relics. That is true. Watching live in the VODs is different. I need to look into putting on closed captioning for myself. That way it's a little bit more accessible too. You might be able to hear the ambient music in that case. Because I don't want to challenge again, so let me just exit. True, I know I can't. But I always acquainted that just to be my hearing's poor. So we're on Ling Juicy. Let's see. Do I always have the WuKong crown? Nope, this is something special just for this stream. I figured out how to do it just this morning. It's a new asset that I found out, or new item you can add in VTube Studio. I thought it'd be thematic for one of my favorite games. I can't promise I'll always cosplay. But for this one, I thought it'd be worth the effort. Alright, I've bumped up the difficulty on this one just to see. I'm hoping I don't hit nearly as hard. Use this as a comparison. Alright, that's promising. Good, good, good. That still does a bit. Take this for now. Come back down. Back over here, please. Oh no. Let's see if my stamina will last. I don't know. Ooh, good hit. He did. There we are. That's a much better difficulty. That was a little bit of a challenge. And thank you. I don't think I'm too good at it, but again, this character is severely overleveled for these bosses, because this is its second playthrough. and I'm on the final boss of this playthrough. The biggest hurdle that I have is I'm trying to dust off my skill set because I think the last time I played it was in November, so I am rusty. I didn't realize it would try to detect me when I moved away that way. I'll have to make a note of that for next time. And streamers have cats? Well, to be fair, the internet is highly saturated with cat lovers, so it makes sense. Yeah, it did show the head's mobility, that's for sure. Just sorry that it was probably uncomfortable to watch. Alright, so I think it'll be at the next Grace where we try some more bosses. I say Grace, and I probably should say Shrine. Because I don't think Guan Yi... Let's see. Oh no. Especially if it's a model that's not supposed to have it attached. That makes it even worse. Like, for example, if they even have a neck. Me being an incorporeal spirit makes it a little bit more excusable. Because I could say, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Ah, another one. I don't know if that's a guaranteed drop there. Very much so. Did you hear the murmurings of Elder Scrolls 6? They're starting that up again. I'm guessing it'll be another 3 to 5 years before we hear more of it. Yeah, it's the same trailer they released 5 years ago, though. Is it 5 or 7? It seems like it's been a lot longer, but given the before times, time feels weird. Well, it's been, what, 13, 15 years since Skyrim was released? I think it's closer to 15. I'm gonna feel very old if it's actually closer to 20, though. Yeah, it's been a long time. Especially when they would go 3 to 5 years between titles. The distance between Skyrim, Elder Scrolls V, and Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be significant no matter when they release it. If they release it. Ah, very true. In this state, age has become a distant memory. Not to mention the immortality that comes with being on the internet now. Any of you archers? Don't think so. I didn't know that was breakable. Whoops. I should be, yes. I'm going to try to take my time with the content here. I wasn't brave enough to start Journey 3 on this character yet. I wanted to do some warm-ups. So it'll probably be about 3 hours. It's too little. Oh dear. A 24-hour stream. I don't know what I would fill the content with. That's probably one that I would go through a complete run of Black Myth Wukong. Because there are a few bosses that would fill that time significantly. Erlong Shen being one of them. Although, maybe not him. I'm trying to remember... The Beast is the one who gave me the most trouble. They can be. I'm impressed with the challenge runners that could do it and be like, oh, Dark Souls? No problem, I'll have it beat in an hour. I couldn't imagine. But then again, I'm also the opposite type of where I overlevel. I don't think I could do a rune level 1 anytime soon. That's just a tedium that I'm... Ugh, no thank you. Wonder why the gorgeous... I wonder if that means it recovered. 'Cause it had a little spark on it. Sekiro is its own kind of nightmare. Not only is it a Souls title, but it's also a rhythm-based Souls title that relies heavily on parry. And where I never learned how to parry, it is just an abysmal scene. Major credit to anyone who's able to beat Sekiro. It does have a very satisfying sound. Ba long ba. Ba li gua ba. Guang Mo. I know he's in this area. Yeah. Ching, ching, ching. I also really like the sound that a perfect dodge makes in this game. It's so satisfying to the ear. And goodness, I lose track of time. I can't believe I already met the 50-minute mark with this recording. That just tells you how fun Black Myth Wukong is. And that's a good line. Anything perfect is hard to achieve. Well, that was too easy. Okay, pilgrim mode probably isn't the appropriate one. And 3 hours is too little extended. We might. We'll see how today goes. As I was saying earlier, this is kind of one of my selfish streams of I absolutely adore this game, and I have plenty of it uploaded on the commentary-less version of YouTube, or excuse me, the commentary-less profile on my YouTube, but in this case this will be the first debut with my VTuber and my voice overlaying it, so it feels more like mine than the other one. And you jump down there to fight the frog, so I'll go ahead and do that here. So I'm really excited for this one to be, one, a good stream, and two, for it to be an even better VOD. Because it'll be nice to actually have something like this, because I focused a lot on the boss fights in the YouTube channel, just because I thought that those would be like quick hit videos, where they're less than 3 or 4 minutes depending on the boss. This one, it'll actually have the long recording style, so I can just show off how beautiful and gorgeous the backgrounds are. Oh, I gave you a follow because I wanted to remember your username. As you were so kind during my Small Land stream, I wanted to make sure I kept your company. Stalker? A bit, yes. As like we talked about earlier, where I'm trying to build a good community, you seem like a decent individual to have in it, so I promise I won't spam you with things on Twitch or anything like that. And I think it's a little too forward to just ask everyone to join the Discord, but if you'd like, feel free. I've included 2 links to it. One's in the About Me section, and then if you scroll down a little bit in Twitch, there's now a tile for it. But I completely understand being joined into too many Discords myself. Being asked to join yet another is like, oh, do I have to? It's almost become the equivalent of being on a mailing list. when emails were new. Oh, these hit too hard. Okay, Pilgrim mode is a no-no. And that makes a load of sense. Especially like we were talking about of where VODs are different versus live streams. Live streams, you get that one-on-one chance and it feels like a genuine conversation. Discord, it reminds me of the PHP forum days of where I don't always expect an immediate response. It may be days or weeks before I get a response, if I get one. I try not to treat mine that way, but I can understand some of the larger ones have that problem. Or you don't get to the one-on-one time with the individual content creator and instead have interactions with their mods. But in this case, you have the streamer's captive attention. Because like we were talking about before, I'm here for the company.
就在樊笼里，复得樊字。
Oh, you're still here. Did I not get your cutscene the first time through? Or second time through?
路上可曾见到那些无主的孤魂？灵韵不散，浮于空中。唉，可惜你的葫芦不中用，我这葫芦又认主。哎呀，哎，我有一法，可超度孤魂，归拳反真，与你必有帮助。这才像样，不能装天，却可渡人。荡去痴念，早入轮回。
And I just realized my gourd is a miniature version of his. How nice. And you've been with a streamer since they had less than 50 followers, and now she's got a bigger following. Oh, that's very kind. You think I can do the same? And yes, it will be hard since I only do the 1 day a week. That's a known limitation I'm still contemplating on. But maybe you're a lucky charm. Just your presence alone can help attract others. Yeah, the job does come first. But like we were saying before, I'm very fortunate in that I actually like my career choice, and the job that I have is very fitting, so I can't complain on that front. I'm just hoping that yours gets even remotely better. Because it sounds like it was quite the challenge. Oh, they need to get their heads first. Oh, there's 3 of you. Fun. So is it something work-related that you have to do today? Nah. That's a shame. Hopefully you'll get some weekend makeup time either later in the week or an extended period afterwards. Because having to work on a Saturday is no fun. Unless your schedule calls for it, say like you're a Saturday through Friday shift. Excuse me, Thursday shift. Yeah, having to work weekends. Which, on one hand, I wouldn't mind, so long as they traded for a day off during the week, but it's more often the case that they don't, where you'll end up working 6 to 7 days straight, and that's just abysmal. Because that tallies up a sleep debt and a fatigue that no amount of sleep can really aid with. Yeah. I'm sorry you're having to go through that. Yeah. There we go. Oh, you're awake now. Okay. The one you encountered did briefly. And it was kind of as we expected. But it was still neat to see the kind of quality of work that they offered. It gave me a nice ego boost by comparison. Strangely, yes. I don't know if they're using a similar AI generator or what the deal is, but... Or maybe this is just the style and I'm out of touch. But it has a predominant color, of a high saturated color, with a threefold banner of where it has like black, white, black, so a bold outlined emblem, with the character in the center, and again it looks heavily saturated, very anime, and exceedingly vibrant. Like, if you know the anime Naruto, it's even more vibrant than that. And it's not the first time I've seen that kind of flashy of a style. So I don't know if that's just the new standard, or if it's used the same generator, but it had this uncanniness to it where even if they were hand-drawn, they may have gone to the same art school, to put it generously. And where I drew my own, I may just be completely off base and out of touch. Because I admit I didn't do too much into the VTuber community research before starting, other than what softwares are used and a few tutorials. So the quote-unquote meta culture is I'm ignorant to. And yeah, you called it. That's my gut feeling, but where I've never gone to an art school or really partaken in many classes, I can't say for certain. Fair. I have seen many an artist that has never had the formal education behind it. They just intuit the rules of it and make it their own. I like to think I may stand on the border of that, but I haven't crossed that threshold to become amongst them. Because for this exercise, I approached it more from the technical aspect of, okay, how do I get the bare bones of what I need in order to make this thing look like a thing? And banner and logo, a lot of it were logos, and a few of them were VTuber designs themselves. But they were more of, I don't want to use this word condescendingly, but what I would expect to see for standard affair. So more on the generic side of where it may be templatized. I think VTube Studio comes with a default one of where it may not be shown. I'm trying to remember the art style that was really prevalent in the early 2000s, and it had the same problem of if you shave the character bald, apart from the eyebrows, they had very distinct features, or very few distinct features. So think animes like Sailor Moon, or because that's going more towards the 90s. I'm trying to think of an early 2000s one that suffered that same problem. Because if you took away the hair, a lot of the characters look about the same. Which, admit, for a little bit of arrogance, was something I purposely tried to avoid with my VTuber model by making it a floating skeleton, or at least a skull, in that there's no rosy cheeks or cute little lips or anything like that. It's its own grimacing little thing. Yeah, I don't know if it would be wise to expect any kind of product yield after payment rendered, or if you would get something, but the quality of it could be kind of eh. I could always have a human form. That might be for a fun later reveal. Be like, by the way, here's Sir Meh in the flesh. I do have a picture that I drew of kind of showing my corporeal self and the VTuber together. Although I think I drew myself far more flattering than in reality, but meh. And this is when I probably should go back to the shrine to fight the white-clad noble. Because I think there's the shrine there. And where he has two phases, I think I'll try it on Pilgrim, and then if it's ridiculously easy, I might try it again on the other, but we'll see what kind of challenge he gives. I'm hoping that they progressively look better. What do you look like when you're in the flesh? Fairly short, light blonde hair, blue eyes that are more gray, and deep sunken circles. So I look like I haven't slept in a long time. Which, fun little tidbit, again, I didn't go to art school, but I know about complementary colors and contrasting colors. The VTuber's hair color was actually chosen based off of my own, but the exact opposite on the color wheel. So that's why it's kind of that lavender pink. Basically an office worker? Yes! An office worker with insomnia. Who's on the computer far too often. Yeah, that was too easy. Alright, I'll try you again on the next level. Because this one gave me a lot of trouble my first playthrough. And I love how he's a full Naga. Yeah, I don't think Pilgrim difficulty is appropriate for this one. Because this character is far too overleveled for that. Let's try the next one up. Because it's not that I want them to absolutely trounce me, because I'm still trying to get back into the swing of it, but where they fell too easily, that doesn't really give you good training sense either. Especially for the challenges ahead. Because in the challenge modes, I've tried one, and it was the group of the 4 monks. The problem I had, though, is allegedly it said that they would be the same difficulty as you originally fought them. They seemed far harder. Now, I don't know if that's because I was still in recovery and just doing very poorly, and I just didn't realize it, or if it was ramped up difficulty. Because this character struggled with it, so we'll see how this next level does. Because Pilgrim was... no. That wasn't a fair fight. Max that difficulty up. Where it's one of those where you walk into the arena and they just one-shot you. Like, ah, this is good. At least that's what the typical Souls player would say. Let's try medium first. Alright, he hits. I miss. Come on, there we go. Ah, nice, I forgot that. Ring of Fire won't work on a water level. It seems common sense, but I didn't think that at the time. Let's find me some time for my flask to recover. This is better. He's posing a bit of a challenge. He may even kill me phase 1. Ah, the AoE got me. Nice. That's actually really comforting, because I'm kind of torn where this may seem... Oh, I forgot I had that equipped. Oh dear. Trying to keep him staggered, but I think this is a mistake. Let's see. And he'll back off. Let's see if I can use my focus point. Oh, nice dodge. This is only his phase 1, too. There we go. Now he's phase 2. See if I can get him attacked with my duplicate. Blast. See if I can draw him near, because I don't think I'll be able to reach him. Come here. Please. I think he even heals in this form too.
一招一尺。逆天者，亡！
There we are. Well, thank you. Okay, medium difficulty feels about right. And yes, he doesn't do as much damage as WuKong, but he's still an impressive challenge. Because I remember my first playthrough with him, I was so happy to finally beat him, and I was like, yeah, I did good. And then his phase 2 started. I was like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. And he thoroughly wiped the floor with me a few times. But again, that was such a fun fight and such a beautiful area, I couldn't be mad. Especially because this is the first boss in this game that showed that they have a phase 2, and it set the precedence like, oh, now we should expect it. Especially because he entered phase 2 after fully depleting his health bar. In traditional senses, they would enter phase 2 at 50%. I know Consort Radon enters it at 75%, which throws people off too. And I guess where he's the third bell, or excuse me, the third guardian before the bell, I should go see Elder Jinji. And I think to get there I actually have to fast travel. Because unfortunately, as I've already played through this one, I can't just ring the bells and teleport. So alas, I've got to go there manually. So stream more than 3 hours. We'll see how it goes, and if not, thank you very much for stopping in. It's been delightful to chat with you this morning. I hope all your work stuff goes well. I might get stuck on the Mad Tiger or the Wind Sage. We'll see how those go. This is another... I know this is going to sound weird to say, but I really like the Derelict Temple as well. This one burned to the ground originally, but more structures survived than I would have anticipated. It's still gorgeous. And he won't be in here, but I just want to look at the arena real quick. Because these poor wandering spirits are still stuck here. And I wonder if, like their master, they've got the kind of clad of gold to represent their greed. Or maybe their obsession. Because I don't necessarily want to use Western terms to call it greed. It is interesting that they have digigrade legs, though. Alright, we'll give the Elder a shot. And there's an arrogant line. I tame tigers with ease, and for leisure I conquer longs, never to appease. Yeah, that just annihilates his health bar in Pilgrim mode. And now I've got to play Keep Away, depending on where they spawn. I can't remember if it was just a set number that have to reach him, or if it's just a time thing. There we are. How fitting. For lore reasons, that was satisfying. And again, a bit easier, but that fight can be a little bit tedious. And sorry for the long loading screen on this one. There we go. After we get to this next place, I may take a very brief pause to check on a couple things and refill my water. And I will remember to actually go on the BRB screen. I'm sorry the VTuber kind of did what it did. It's good to know. I'll have to toggle that in OBS next time. Ah, welcome in, Winnie. How are you doing today? That's very glad to hear. I'm hoping Saturday's treating you well. I'm doing well as well. I'm actually playing my favorite game, so I can't complain at all. Again, you flatter me. I think I skipped over the cave. Whoops. Let's go back a bit. Have you been up to any fun projects lately? I think last time we were chatting you mentioned that you had a few commission works that you were working on. That's awesome. I'm hoping those projects are going well. Oops, didn't mean to bump the torch. And I guess I've already felled the enemies through here. It's weird that they don't respond. But this does give us a nice little meditation spot. Yeah, I'd love to see him. Alright, so what I'll do is let me meditate here real quick. We'll do this instead. Just gonna let that go through. Ah, certainly. You can either chat while I game, or I can message you afterwards like I usually do. Because I should be on the Discord for a bit afterwards. Alright. So what I'll do is I will be right back. I'm going to go check on something. So I'll be on my BRB screen for just a moment. So hang out with me. Alrighty, nearly there. Let's go back to our live scene. There we go. Now we should be back at it. Thank you for your patience. Let's double check something real quick. We've got that going. All looks well. Yeah, I guess I'll go to this Grace and fight the Black Wind King. I'm sorry I keep calling them Graces. Where I've played through Elden Ring recently, that's going to be stuck in the brain for a bit. Let's go to the shrine. Return of the Rivals. Should I go ahead and do the long as well? Let's do the Black Wind King first and then the long. Then again, apologies for the loading screens. Sometimes they go quickly, sometimes not.
不同遁迹之法，也敢激舞心动？你的铜头铁脑呢？
Let's see if the stamina lasts. Oh,
无
goodness.
奈观音座下，守山大神，休得放肆！好好的禅院全被你毁了！
Very true, Resrick. Because you are not a bot. That was kind of a lackluster attempt. Let me try that once more. I do like the font that one used. I don't know if that comes across on the stream there, but it's... I think I've used it before or I've seen it used before for a Lovecraftian thing. So, interesting attempt. I admit that's the second time I've heard of Stream Boo, and I'm kind of concerned on what it actually is. Welcome to the streaming world. You know you've really made it when the bots start targeting you. No, I don't think that's a sign of success, though. I think that's a sign of they smell fresh blood in the water. There we go. More damage this time. Yeah, Ryzerk may be in and out of the stream. They're unfortunately having to work today. See if we can't catch him on fire. This transformation may not last. I might revert back here shortly. And there we go. Oh no, the internet went out. That's not good. That's a prelude of what's to come for that fight. That's a shame I didn't get the epic finish. Oh well. We exchanged blows and I still came out on top. Alright, that's not bad. I'll take it. Trying to remember if there's a meditation spot up ahead. What I'll probably do is just to go through the level, get to the last shrine, and then go back for the long. Because that's a pretty fun fight. Plus it'll give me a break between the Black Wind King and the Black Bear. And I don't think I can pick up a duplicate of the curio here, otherwise I would have already. Because I think any of them that are in the chest you only get the one for. Which makes sense. Especially that one where I think it was the agate jar. And that one increases defense. I will say it's a bit of a challenge to go through with the new gourd type, where I only have the one use until it replenishes. That's a new challenge for sure. I got very spoiled with my original gourd. Well, not the original gourd, but the one I ended the game with, where it has the 10 charges. But I'm trying to get used to that early, so that way when I do some of the more prolonged challenges, where you have 4 or 5 enemies in a row, that way I'm already acclimated. Where's the archer? Lovely music. Do they not respawn? Huh. Well, that's nice. And a beautiful sunrise. Or sunset. How about you? Are you still down here? Doesn't look like it. Oh well. We can jam to the music then. You don't really look like a wolf fly. What are you? Look more like a badger. I'm just trying to admire the scenery. I think that's a statue of Guan Yin. I could be mistaken. But it's to her Wukong owes his headband as well as my VTuber. Or at least his headband is what inspired it. Since at the end of this chapter, the Black Bear Guai is also sporting the same thing. So it makes me wonder if she subjected more than one to it. And I love the shrine designs in Chapter 1. I think Chapter 1 and Chapter 4 shrines are my favorite. And as I said earlier, every scene is a painting. So I remember when I was editing the footage for my commentary list content, I made the comment that every screen is worth a wallpaper, and it was really hard to choose. A nice leaf effect through here. That area didn't take me nearly as long as I thought it would. This here's actually the arena for the Black Bear Guai. But as promised, I'll go fight the Red Long first, as he's the secret boss of this chapter. Although you can't access him until you go to Chapter 2. I meant to go to Challenge. I don't think you'll be able to get to him otherwise. And I'm thinking this is more turning into just a general showcase rather than a challenge for me, as I'm still getting antiquated with the controls again, or reacclimated to the controls. Because it's just nice to be back in this world. And he actually comes from the tree, I believe. There he comes. And if you had smash stance on, you could actually hit these, I don't remember what they're called, but these nodules on his back and they explode and do significant damage to him. That was far too easy. Again, I'm thinking more and more that medium difficulty might be where I need to be. Because Pilgrim, that wasn't quite fair. Because I like that fight, so I'll try it once more. I might give myself the grace and use Pilgrim mode for the fights I don't really care for. But those that I enjoyed, I might put on medium, just so they can showcase their abilities a bit more. Like the first time you fight the Jinlong, that one might be fun. Although Yellowbrow's going on easy, just because he's a... Is he a 3-parter? I honestly don't remember. Plus, I think I have to clear them all anyway. I don't know if I get a MacGuffin for it, but it'd be nice to do so. I am glad that they didn't modify the achievements in Steam for this, because I have 100% of the game, and I'm going to be very sad when they change that. Which I'm hoping they do for the DLC. If and when that should come out. I was hoping it would arrive for New Year's, but alas, no luck there. So it may arrive on the anniversary of the game. At least that's what fans are using as copium. Get this going. Hoping for a third. That should help charge this up a little faster. Ooh, goodness. That hits hard. Which is a good thing. Where are we going? Keep your tail to yourself, please. Significant damage there, that's a promising sign. There we go. Get some cheap shots in. Didn't manage my stamina very well. Let's rebuttal that. Oh, he's almost dead. Alright, that was a bit more fun. And I'm wondering if I should change my... It's not curios. I'm trying to remember what they called it. Your special item. It's not talisman. but to the flame-resistant Kasaya. Can't remember what they called those. It's not curios. I'll have to take a look. Because it's not relic. Relic is what you unlock at the end of the chapters. Vessels. I wouldn't have guessed. Just going through these, make sure that I got them. And I'm really curious if I include the audio for the chapter end, if that'll actually get this section muted on Twitch. Because funny enough, in one of my Elden Ring videos, I paused on the main screen, and it muted the clip because of copyright materials on the Elden Ring loading screen. So I'm curious to try it. In worst case, I can always cut it out later. Good, he doesn't charge. Ooh, I mistimed that. Oh, the needle's just gonna destroy him. Yeah, that was a bit too easy. This will be another one I redo, because I like this fight. And I don't think... Okay, I can do it from here. That'll save me a loading screen. That's good to know. Because I thought I had to go all the way back out, then relaunch challenge, and then go back in. But if I can change the foe here, and change their difficulty, that'll be helpful. Still trying to figure these out. There we go. And this boss does have the one phase. Well, he has two phases, but one health bar. Still didn't manage that. Come here and attack the duplicate. The irony is that he's not fireproof. Ooh, this will be interesting with one flask. Because I just realized in my flask I have it where it actually removes the elemental damage. So where I only have the one sip until it recovers, that'll be interesting. Might use my Ring of Fire here in a moment. I got my gourd back, so that's good. See if I can't do this. Shoot. Too soon. Alright, come on down. Two, three. Ooh, I'm on fire. That negated my healing. Oh, one hit. Good night. Okay, that was much more fun. And now the question is, should I go in all the chapters in order? Or should I just go through the things that I find enjoyable? Because we have quite a few bosses, and I may be able to make more than one stream out of this. But we'll see. Because walking through the Yellow Ridge isn't as fun without Lingji narrating it. And I think he can only narrate it at certain points now that I've cleared it. And I'm trying to recall the fights through there, because the Mad Tiger's a lot of fun. The Black Long is not fun. Fuban's a gimmick boss. And the Yellow Wind Sage is another one. Trying to think what else we have. See, chapter 1 I think is my favorite. And it's not so much that I like the bosses of Purple Mountain, but I really like the setting of it. Just like I can't get enough of that view. I remember what I was going to do. Let me see if I can actually do this. So I'll get us to the next area. Because we have the Yellow Ridge that we can go through. And you may be wondering why I'm just not going through and playing the game again through my third playthrough. And that's because I'm worried that the difficulty will scale up, because playthrough number 2 was actually very easy. Playthrough number 1 was the appropriate level of challenge, because the character was at the expected levels. Playthrough number 2 was so easy. I wasn't quite one-shotting bosses, but I was very close to it. And that's because I did a significant bit of grinding in playthrough 1 in preparation for playthrough 2. And I suppose you can make the same argument in playthrough 2. I could do more grinding to get through playthrough 3, because I think I'm halfway to max level. That way I can have everything unlocked. But I don't know if I necessarily want to dedicate the time to that. Because I also wanted to have all of the shrines unlocked. That way I could fast travel in the event of DLC. Because I wasn't quite sure how you would be able to access that. And this may take a little bit of time, because I don't know why, but it's a known issue, at least on my end, of where every time I open settings, it takes a significant amount of time to load. Ah, welcome in, Pingdom. How are you doing today? Or Pingudom? How's your Saturday treating you? Gonna take a brief pause here so we can watch the end of chapter 1. Because I love this video. And keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't get muted. In my first view, I didn't realize that the frog jumped into a hand. And yes, I've just beat New Game Plus, and I'm going through the challenge modes. Well, almost beat it. Ah, thank you. I'm hoping it'll go fine. The challenge modes are what I've been really interested in.
百卷情，千般缘，色与空，弹指间。
And I like in this, he starts off very humble. Well, humble in air quotes. But the black bear Guai is always lingering.
一生功名忙如烟，浮沉落花断不绝。涅槃究竟寻常事，有情处不远。
All of the Kasaya. And then Wukong arrives to ruin it all.
却方便修行路无名气，翻动时莫等闲，一生功名情如烟，最后人物在少年，最是萤火情失眠，看真挚看见。
And back to Guanyin.
师父，徒弟还是想不明白，出家人尘缘已断，心海尽干，长老他为何偏偏放不下一件衣裳？
若不披上这件衣裳，众生又怎知我尘缘已断， 金海尽干。
I would love an anime in that entire art style. But Pinkudam, you finished the challenge modes and you're playing on a different account on console? That's probably a wise idea. I thought about doing the same on this, where I would start a brand new profile, and I may yet do that. Because I'm kind of torn of where this is my playthrough number 2, and I'm at the Stone Monkey where I've completed everything up to that point. But I admit I'm kind of scared to play through 3, just because how easy playthrough 2 was. I worry that the difficulty will ramp up. But playing on a different account would avoid that altogether, because it would reset it back to the quote-unquote default. So that's an idea. And I'm debating if I really want to kind of walk through this area or if I may just do kind of the boss rush. Just do a couple challenges to see, because there's a few bosses right off the bat. You've got those. Yeah, there's not too many of them. So as before, I'll start on Pilgrim, and if the fight's too easy and it's one I enjoy, I'll bump it up in difficulty. Because I remember this one actually gave me a bit of trouble my first playthrough, just because of the element that the frog is and the environment he finds himself in. It works to his advantage rather than mine. Langley Ga Ba. Or Gu Ba. That's not quite fair. Poor little frog. Yeah, that one. It's a hard balance between, sometimes on difficulty they're a challenge, but not enough so. And that Pilgrim's just, that was awful. Poor little guy. He didn't even stand a chance. But that'll mean it'll make quick work of some of the other bosses. I'm curious to see how this next one goes with the king and his second son. Because if I fell the king too quickly and I haven't struck the son yet, he'll go into his rage, and that should make him a little bit harder. And I forgot already that you can stay in the challenge menu, you don't have to go out of it. Oh, and I thought that quote would be for each character, but I've seen that one before, so it might just be towards Pilgrim difficulty. Which is a bit egotistical for a Pilgrim difficulty. Did you already climb up? There you go. Get your son to break the pillar. Come here, second son. Let's get your father down, shall we? Come on, smack the pillar. Can you not break it?
哎呀，老大怪人老三跑了！
If I fell the prince, the father will run. Ow. This may just end the fight early. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. Because in all my playthroughs, I usually kill the father first. So let's see. Again, this should be a relatively easy fight. I'm not anticipating any trouble with this one. The story behind this beast is quite sad, though. Of where the general ordered his men to kill his dog, and they buried him near the... Is it called the Lingji? Or... I'm trying to remember the mushroom's name. But it basically made it a fungal zombie. And it being such a loyal and devoted companion, came back to the general and impaled him on one of the horns. Which the general deserved. Oh, this is the first son. Never mind. The first son's also interesting because he destroys his father. Because he rebelled against the Yellow Wind Sage. And then it's Tiger Vanguard. The Earth Wolf is the one I was thinking of. So they've got these slightly out of order. Or at least the order in which I did it. Because I think I fought the Earth Wolf first. And then the Tiger Vanguard much later. Well, Tiger Vanguard the second. Because the first you find in the past. So what I think I'll do is I'll go through all of the ones in the Yellow Ridge, and then maybe try one of the other challenges where you do them consecutively. That should serve as a good warm-up. See how hard this hits? Oh goodness. That's just not fair. Wish you would collapse the one that you're not in. And the Tiger Acolyte, the biggest benefit it has is fighting on that ridge. Because up to this point, fall damage didn't matter. But then they've gradually introduced it. So, a little points off there, just in terms of level design and consistency. But I see why they did it. And sorry for all the loading screens. Sometimes these go by quickly. And just to be cautious. Again, caution not needed. to play through these again on a harder one. And then the Stone Vanguard. I'm trying to remember the tactic for him. It's primarily circle around and use the arrow deflect mode. Same thing with Shiganda. There we go. I accidentally turned into the transformation inadvertently. I was trying to use the white summon. But that prolonged the fight just a little bit. So I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll make it to past 3-hour mark as fast as these are going. I didn't expect Pilgrim mode to be this easy. Of course, I say that, and maybe in the later levels with the different bosses, it'll amp up. But I don't know. This one's pretty much the same. I really do like in their boss fight that you can actually have them target each other. That was a pleasant discovery. I don't know if it's scripted that the Stone Vanguard wins every time, but in my experience that seems to be the case. Similar to when in Chapter 4 you have the Scorpion Lord and the... oh, what's it called? It's not the Morning Star. Duskvale. When you have the Duskvale Beast, I think he's scripted to win, where the Scorpion Lord will not accompany you into Phase 2. But again, I found about that later. I did the painstaking thing of trying to fight the Scorpion Lord, and it took me like 5 or 6 tries, at least. And since he throws stuff, I don't feel any qualms throwing stuff back at him. Because by my opinion, Zubaji is a better boar than that one. And here's the Earthwolf, who's such a good boy. Never mind that he became a little monster. Because I don't think that was of his fault. Even that much damage just being near him. If I had waited just a little longer, that would have been a one-shot. Yeah. We're flying through these. And again, that's entirely because I'm being stubborn and trying to clear everything on Pilgrim mode first, before switching to the other ones. Because I could probably double the stream time if I went through and did everyone at medium difficulty. Because I think that's good for this character's level and spec. This fight I just don't enjoy. It's a rhythm-based one, and it's an obvious rhythm, but I have no sense of timing. So I struggled with it. And I found out too late that you can actually stand on one of the rocks. Kind of got stuck on the map on that one. Again, the needle seems to be overpowered for a lot of this. But that is some sweet revenge. There we go. Select another opponent is what I meant to. So let's see. Gore, Mad, Tiger, Fuban. So 5 more. Five more, and then I may attempt one of the major challenges. Because I got close with the 4 monks, but I failed at the very end. I think the poison got to me. I was relieved to know that, is it non-void? Or non-white? I think it's non-white, the one you fight in the snow. Only had his second phase, not both phases. We'll see. He was in his second phase where his arms were released. I'd be curious to see what speedrunners can do with this, just to see how fast they can fell their foes. I probably wager it'll be shorter than that. And I'm thinking I might walk through parts of Chapter 3 and definitely through Chapter 4. Chapter 5 I don't think I'll walk through. I think I'll handle it much like this, of where I'm just doing the boss rush. Because as far as scenery goes, it's okay. Not my favorite. And the first time I fought the Mad Tiger, that roar, I didn't realize he caused rocks to become dislodged, so I got squished. And this poor chap, he's so sweet. It makes me wonder if he'd been able to return home if his sons had taken a different path. But I think because of what happens in the past, the cubs are left to their own devices and they develop into the creatures that they become. Because I can't imagine that two sons raised under him would turn out the way they did. But you can tell he lived a hard life, or at least a life where he tried, given his wounds and lasting conditions. See if he lunges. Aww. Poor lamb. I'm curious to see how this one goes, because this one is more of a gimmick fight, where Yellow Wind Sage comes in to show you how much of a badass he is. It's a kind of good character introduction, rather than a boss fight. I do think it's weird that you can only damage him on his index finger. None of the other hands work. Let's see. He immediately goes under, so I've got to avoid him. Alright, that's decent damage. He blocked me with his head there. Just because he is a target to hit. He's gonna burrow again. Ow. I deserve that. This will also give me a chance to see how long it takes for the blast to recover. Thank you, camera. You've targeted it for me already. And the flask is recovered now. Ow. I guess my friend won't show up. Alright. That serves me better. That means this fight will last just a little bit longer. Alright. That was kind of nice. That way, The Yellow Wind Sage didn't have to interfere with that one. But now we get to see what trouble he'll cause. I don't know if he'll be too much on this mode, because again, this mode is very cheap and not at all reminiscent of what the level of difficulty should be. And I know I sound very arrogant when I go through that, but this character is overleveled, and I'm playing on my second playthrough, so take that with a grain of salt. Because we may play this again next Saturday, although Monster Hunter Wilds does come out, so I don't know if I'll stream that day of launch, or if I'll try to get acquainted with it offline, then stream it. I'm still kind of debating on that. Good hits. Alright, even on this mode he's a bit of a challenge, so that's promising. Not much of a challenge, but something of a challenge. And I did take a fair bit of damage there. So that should take care of Yellow Ridge on the easiest level. So that at least they're cleared. Now let's see. See, I got 3 in, and it was the 4th that caused me problems. So let's see what this does. This is where I may start to flounder. And see where it says tough as usual? I somehow doubt that. Because they seem a little bit more difficult than they would be in the first playthrough. But again, where I only have the 2 to compare. And I don't see my... There it goes. I was worried for a second that it may have frozen given the progress bar. Let's see. Off to an interesting start. go ahead and use this. The advantage went to him. Nicely done. There we go. Because this is a war of attrition, of where I only have so many resources, and the bosses will continue on, as I won't replenish in between each fight. And this next individual can be frustrating because he becomes impervious for quite a significant bit of the fight. You see how hard they hit? I'm surprised. And I'm stuck. Oh, that's a shame.
家便无回头路。
This may be more of a rinse and repeat. Because of all the monks, I hate him the most. Just because of the lore surrounding him. He's the gentleman at the end of chapter 2 that kills the fox. See if I can get this out.
亦能享有。我走。有。看。
Goodness. The flame should help a bit. Oof. I hate to waste all my magic on him, but I may have to. Go. And I don't have the thing equipped for my flask, so it increases my mana, so now it's just me against non-white. So this is where I failed last time, so we'll see if I get past it. I do have the revising thing on, so that's something in my favor. Ooh. Nope. This is not going well at all. Yeah. That's kind of what happened the last time. Although I did get him to the Venom stage. Let's see what this does. Because I don't think this restores my mana. It does a little bit. Alright. The fact that he knocks you completely out of it is impressive. There's the Venom phase. This is what got me badly last time. Because I was just out of heals and out of resources. Alright, his face changed. Don't get greedy. There we go. Alright. That went... I had to use the life-saving strand, so that's pro and con. Using gourd in low mana restores a moderate amount of ki. New item. Nice. I got the heart racing. Can feel it rattling in my bones. Well, I'll disappoint Ryzeric, but I don't think I'll make it to the 3-hour mark. I know I took a little bit of a break in between, but I think I will call it here, because that's a high note to end on. That was a challenge I was worried about, and it kind of gives me a sense for how the rest of the challenges will go. So what I'll do, just to give myself a reminder, is I'll go to the New West, just to get it loaded for next time. And what we'll likely do is do a little bit of exploration just to show some of the beautiful scenery that it has, but primarily do another boss rush. And then I'll walk through the majority of Chapter 4 just because I like the setting, especially for the architecture sections, like where the sisters dwell. I think that'll be a good thing to see on stream. Again, sorry for all the loading screens with this one. But I'll get us loaded and then we'll wrap up here. See how many I actually have with me. Because I think... No, I won't do a raid today. This does give me a chance to show how I like these little shrines too. Chapter 1 and Chapter 4 have the best shrines. I like that little crude wood structure. Oh, you can't really see me. Let's see if I can get to a darker area. There we go, now I'm back. Alright, so I think what I'll do is I'll sign off here, and hope that you all have a very lovely rest of your day, and an even better weekend. If you're watching the VOD later on, thank you. This is one of my all-time favorite games, so it was an absolute delight to be able to play through it today, and I'm hoping to make more content with it here in the future, but I think this is where we'll sign off, and I hope that you have a great day and an even better weekend. Take care.